For, what, 2 decades now, Google has been the undisputed king of the internet. Simple as that. But right now, the AI revolution is here, and it is shaking the very ground beneath Silicon Valley. So in this explainer, we're diving deep into one of the most important companies on Earth to answer a really critical question for any investor. So here's the trillion-dollar question, right? Is this AI boom the single greatest opportunity in Google's entire history? A chance for them to build an even bigger, deeper moat around their digital kingdom? Or is it a massive threat, a kind of AI asteroid hurtling towards the search advertising dinosaur? That's the huge question we're unpacking today, and we're going to start with Google's game plan. All right, first up, the strategy. It really all boils down to one thing. How is Google going to turn its super powerful AI model Gemini into a massive money-making engine? Well, let me tell you, they have a very, very clear plan of attack. See, they're not just putting all their eggs in one basket. They're hitting this from 3 different angles all at once. For you and me, the consumers, it's all about premium subscriptions. Think Gemini Advanced. For the big companies, they're turbocharging their existing products like Workspace and Google Cloud. And then there's the big one, their core business. They are totally rethinking how advertising is going to work inside of an AI search world. It's a full-on, multi-front war for monetization. And you know, this quote right here, it just nails their whole philosophy. The goal isn't just to add AI as a cool new feature. No. The plan is to weave it so deeply into everything they do, your Google Docs, your search, the cloud, that it becomes completely and utterly indispensable. They want their AI to be as essential as that simple white search bar was for 2 decades. And this really shows you the engine room for that entire plan. It's the infrastructure. I mean, think about it. By controlling the data centers, the hardware, and the cloud platform, Google can stitch its AI seamlessly across its entire universe of products. That creates this incredibly powerful feedback loop. Okay, the strategy sounds amazing on paper. It's ambitious. But you know what they say, show me the money. Does the math actually check out? Let's peel back the curtain and take a look at the financials to see if the numbers really back up this grand story. So first, let's look at the top line, revenue growth. The easiest way to think about this is like the company's report card. It's the simplest measure there is. Are sales going up, and how fast? It tells us if the market is actually buying what Google is selling. And the numbers here are honestly pretty staggering. Just look at that acceleration. Analysts are forecasting growth to leap from under 9% all the way to over 17% by 2025. Now, for a company of this gargantuan size, that is a massive jump. It signals a really strong belief that this whole AI strategy is going to translate into very serious cash. Okay, so revenue is great, but what about profit? For that, we look at something called earnings per share growth, or EPS. This tells us how much actual profit the company is making for every single share out there. This, my friends, is where the rubber meets the road for investors. And again, just wow. The forecasts are calling for absolutely explosive growth. We're talking almost 39% this year and another 35% next year. This isn't just a little bit of growth. This is a huge expansion of profitability. It suggests that those massive, eye-watering investments they're making in AI are expected to pay off, and pay off big time. So let's take a breath. The strategy is solid, the financials look fantastic. But with all this good news flying around, we have to ask the tough question. Is this real sustainable growth, or are we just looking at another tech bubble getting pumped up by AI hype? What's the right price to pay for this stock? You know, to help frame this, let's bring in an expert opinion. JP Morgan actually weighed in on this very question. They acknowledged this massive run-up in tech stocks, but they argue this is not a repeat of the dot-com bubble. And why? Because this time, the rally is actually justified by the fundamentals. This boom is being built on real earnings and real product adoption, not just on buzzwords and hope. So here's the real tug-of-war. The case for the bulls is crystal clear. Google is a dominant beast with accelerating growth and a killer plan to cash in on AI. But the bear case points to some very real-world, nuts-and-bolts problems. This whole AI revolution needs a mind-boggling amount of electricity and water for its data centers. That creates physical bottlenecks. On top of that, you have regulators everywhere watching how AI uses our data like hawks. And of course, there's always the risk that parts of the market just get a little too bubbly. These are definitely not small concerns. All right, we've seen the strategy, we've crunched the numbers, and we've heard the debate. Now, it's time to put it all together and make a call. What is the final verdict for an investor looking at Google today?
Our recommendation is a buy. Yeah, despite the very real risks and the huge run-up in the stock price, the fundamental case here is simply too compelling to ignore. So let's quickly recap the top 3 reasons why. First, they have a robust AI money-making strategy that hits multiple markets, which gives them multiple ways to win. Second, the financial forecasts are just exceptionally strong for both revenue and earnings. The company isn't just growing, it's becoming way more profitable. And third, Google is a clear leader in what looks like a sustainable, transformative tech revolution, not some short-term bubble. But, and this is a big but, every investment has that one key risk you have to watch. And for Google, it's this: the physical and social limits to AI's growth. The biggest threat might not be a competitor's cool new algorithm. It could be a simple shortage of power and water for data centers. Or, just as important, a regulatory backlash over data privacy. These are the things investors absolutely need to keep a close eye on. So, we'll leave you with this final thought to chew on. All the pieces seem to be in place: a clear strategy, powerful financials, and a leadership position in a true tech revolution. The big question now is, will the AI moat that Google is digging today be deep enough and wide enough to defend its kingdom for the next decade? Make sure you subscribe for more deep dives into the companies and trends that are shaping our future.